Good evening, I'm Byron Scott with a CTV News Update. 5 employees at the same branch office of the Maryland MVA have tested positive for COVID-19, and one of them has died. This is where the outbreak occurred, at the Largo branch. Officials say the unidentified customer service agent died on Friday after being off for 2 weeks following a COVID-19 diagnosis. The union representing state workers says the employee worked just 2 stations away from another employee who also tested positive. AFSCME Council 3 says Governor Hogan is not doing enough to keep workers safe. CTV spoke with customers about the incident. What's your reaction to that?
It's frightening, and I'm sorry for the family of the person that died.
Will that keep you from going inside there?
I make sure I use all my precautions, wear my mask and, sanitize and everything.
This thing is serious, and we need to take it real serious and don't listen to our president, because this is serious.
The MVA says contact tracing has been underway, and those who were in contact with the individual have been instructed to self-quarantine. Well, the COVID death toll continues to rise in Maryland. 9 deaths were reported this morning. 575 new COVID cases were reported as well. As of today, approximately 133 Marylanders have come down with the virus. Well, hate bias incidents are up slightly in Maryland, according to a state police report. There were 385 reports of hate incidents last year. That compares to 375 in 2018. Most incidents were motivated by race, religion, or sexual orientation. About 34% occurred at colleges and public universities. Well, President Trump's nominee for the Supreme Court faces another round of questions today from the Senate Judiciary Committee, the 3rd day of her confirmation hearings. Yesterday, Judge Amy Coney Barrett faced a marathon day of questions from the committee's 22 senators, including Democratic vice presidential candidate Kamala Harris. This morning, Barrett refrained from saying whether she believes that Social Security and Medicare programs are constitutional. Each senator has up to 20 minutes for questions. Well, strangulation is one of the most lethal forms of abuse, and a victim is 7 times more likely to be killed. That's according to State's Attorney Aisha Braveboy, citing a new making strangulation felony offense. Braveboy says there's now an interagency agreement to ensure victims get proper medical care. They will receive exams using new forensic technology known as Cortex Flow. It will help jurisdictions and help professionals, I should say, detect injuries that are not visible.
This new protocol really will help us document cases of strangulation better. It will aid and assist in prosecution of strangulations, but more importantly, it will give our victims the service that they need in a timely manner, which we understand is important for their long-term health.
And research has shown that strangulation is an extremely dangerous form of domestic violence. Women who experience strangulation by their spouses or partners are 7 times more likely to suffer an attempted homicide. In other words, women who are strangled are much more likely to have their partner also attempt to kill them.
The new law making strangulation a felony took effect on October 1st. Well, police identified the victim in yesterday's fatal shooting in Suitland. He is 29-year-old Charles Yelverton of D.C. Officials were called to the 3600 block of Parkway Terrace Drive at around 12:30 in the morning. Yelverton was found inside a car and pronounced dead at the scene. A reward of up to $25,000 is being offered for information leading to an arrest and indictment. Anyone with information is asked to call police at 866-411-TIPS. Well, a former football coach for Wooten High School in Rockville faces sexual abuse charges involving 2 of his players. 26-year-old Christopher Papadopoulos was arrested Monday on charges that include sexual abuse of a minor. Papadopoulos, who was an assistant varsity football coach from 2016 until this year, allegedly abused the boys while he was their coach. Investigators say Papadopoulos lured at least one of the victims to his home with the understanding that they'd be talking about improving their game and contacting colleges. Police are concerned there may be other victims. The suspect denies the allegations. His next hearing is set for November 13th. Well, the Supreme Court rules in favor of the Trump administration in its plan to end census operations early. The High Court will allow the White House to halt the 2020 census on October 15th, tomorrow. The census determines how much federal funding jurisdictions receive. Mail-in census forms must be postmarked by Thursday. Well, Halloween might look a bit different this year. The county is strongly advising families against traditional trick-or-treating. Instead of letting your kids go door-to-door in costumes, Dr. George Askew is encouraging social distancing events. They include activities like virtual costume contests, decorating pumpkins, and outdoor Halloween scavenger hunts. He says if you allow your children to trick-or-treat, make sure it's with family members and stay at least 6 feet apart from each other. And he's also advising against trunk-or-treating events.
Instead, we are encouraging towns and municipalities to host one-way drive-through trick-or-treat activities where candy can be handed out to families in their vehicles and proper safety precautions can be put into place and maintained.
Dr. Askew is also urging everyone to just wear face masks instead of costume masks. He says wearing the costume mask with the face mask could cause trouble breathing. Well, the new National Advisory Board member of Students Demand Action is only 17 years old, yet she's advocating for stricter gun policies in the state. This is Janine Shee, a senior at Walt Whitman High in Bethesda. She joined the gun violence prevention group about a year ago. Along with the high school chapter, she's hosted events to receive the victims of Parkland, lobbied in Annapolis, and even registered voters. As a new board member, she wants to see increased funding for violence intervention and prevention programs and the banning of ghost guns in Maryland.
There was a student who had brought in a ghost gun into Clarksburg High School, where he was an enrolled student, just several days after the Parkland massacre. And this, just knowing that there was a student who had this lethal weapon in a school is simply unfathomable.
She will also serve as a board member for 2 years. Well, Attorney General Brian Frost announces the indictment of a lieutenant charged with stealing thousands of dollars in overtime pay. The suspect is Brent Spooner, a lieutenant with the Department of Public Safety and Correctional Services. He's been charged with 32 counts of theft and misconduct in office. Officials say Spooner falsely claimed about 80 hours of overtime each pay period since July of 2019. The alleged scheme netted Spooner about $74,000. Well, Prince George's police are investigating a motor vehicle crash that killed a FedEx driver. It happened yesterday afternoon at around 3:30 in Bowie. Investigators say the truck veered off Mill Branch Road near Crane Highway and slammed into a tree. No other vehicles were involved. The driver was pronounced dead, police say at the scene. Well, the city of Greenbelt received a prestigious certification for sustainability. For the first time ever, the city ranks #1 in Maryland, beating out Tacoma Park. Mayor Colin Byrd says municipalities took part in a rigorous process to obtain certification.
Among the very innovative things that the city of Greenbelt is doing around environmental sustainability is really dealing with things like composting, expanding solar so that we can in short order, get to 100% clean and renewable energy. Also, making sure that we expand our EV charging stations, electric vehicle charging stations, so that we can support the infrastructure needs of those who drive electric vehicles. Also, our tree canopy in Greenbelt is one of the things that we're most notable for. We have, locally produced organic goods through our farmers market. And I think beyond that, as I mentioned before, composting is a big part of our sustainability efforts. But we've been really focused on sustainability from the standpoint of protecting the environment, but also promoting the health and wellness of our community. We've done a good job thus far, but we can always make improvements.
And you've always come in second, as you had mentioned. What's it mean to actually come in first place this year?
We have finally dethroned Tacoma Park for that #1 spot. This is a righteous competition. Indeed, it's better when everybody is doing better, to be honest, for our planet. But for us to be at the forefront in the state of Maryland when it comes to environmental sustainability is certainly consistent with the brand of GREENBELT.
The program is run by the University of Maryland, College Park. Let's now get a quick look at our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight, mostly clear with a low of around 55 degrees. Tomorrow, sunny with a high near 76, a low around 56. Friday, mostly cloudy with a chance of rain. Daytime temps reaching a high of 62 and a low of 43. Saturday, sunny with morning showers, a high near 60 and a low of 43 degrees. And now for the community calendar, grab your mom, daughter, or any special woman in your life and join others for an exclusive workshop. Girls Talk, Love United is a free virtual domestic violence awareness discussion. The event is this Saturday from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. Participants will discuss topics such as healthy relationships and self-love, engage in activities, and students can even earn community service. Registration is required to join, and pickup materials is limited to 4 guests per group. For more information, visit loveunited2020.eventbrite.com. And that wraps up our news for tonight. Join us tomorrow at 4:30. I'm Byron Scott. Good night.
For the latest information on COVID-19 in Maryland, visit the State Health Department website. That's health.maryland.gov. Again, health.maryland.gov. Click the link to the COVID-19 information portal. There you'll find all the latest information about coronavirus. You'll find daily updates on cases and fatalities. Answers to questions about testing and the governor's stay-at-home order are available as well. For specific information about Prince George's, visit princegeorgescountymd.gov. That's princegeorgescountymd.gov. The site offers information about local services for residents and businesses. There's a link for COVID-19 relief donations. Also, food pantry locations are listed. And if you have any questions, call the county COVID-19 hotline at 301-883-6627. That's 301-883-6627.
I moved to Florida with literally pennies in my pocket and a prayer. I needed a new start. Dacian looks like a very typical 3-year-old until you ask him, "What's your name? How old are you?" My son has a lot of behaviors that would show as being autistic. Most kids can tolerate a variety of foods, but unfortunately for Dacian, everything has to be organic and raw. I wasn't ashamed to go to the food pantries. It's expensive to eat healthy, and nutrition is very important to Dacian's health. The healthy organic food that we receive dramatically helped his social skills. Most people would say, she really doesn't have much of a life. But to me, I have everything right there next to me in my son.
I am what child hunger looks like in America. I am a 9-year-old boy who hopes a friend invites me to a sleepover so I can have dinner. I am a 15-year-old girl who goes for walks during lunch so my friends won't know I don't have anything to eat. I am a 13-year-old boy who gets into fights at school just because I'm hungry. I was created by artificial intelligence from faces of the 1 in 7 American children who struggle with hunger. Kids you pass by every day but never knew they were hungry.
Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
There was a time in my life where I was extremely homesick. I decided that I needed a pet. When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. He jumped up and kissed me and jumped right into my arms. I immediately went up to the volunteers at the shelter and said, I want him. He's gotta come home with me. Now I'm anything but lonely. Every day with Turtle is a perfect day and keeps me company when I'm doing schoolwork. I like it when he jumps up on the table too. He is a veggie thief. He's an incredible companion and my best friend. Can't say that I've met anybody that doesn't love him too. When I adopted Turtle, I discovered all the things that make him unique. He's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly he's all pure love.
The coronavirus has affected the African American community in many ways, including a drastic drop in blood donations. This is the time to take care of one another, and blood transfusions from healthy African American donors can be a life-saving treatment for patients with sickle cell disease or cancer. The American Red Cross adheres to the highest standards of safety and infection control and urges you to come out to donate. Please, make an appointment today at redcrossblood.org.